In this lecture, we are going to start with the next chapter of electromagnetic induction. So in the previous chapter of magnetic fields in matter, only certain topics are left. For example, the properties of diamagnetic, paramagnetic, ferromagnetic materials, and then BH curve, then hysteresis loop. So such topics you have done in your high school also. So if I get time, I will make videos on that too. But before that, I'm going to cover this chapter, very important chapter, electromagnetic induction. So let's consider a circular loop which is made up of a conducting material. So you have a wire in the form of a circular loop and it is made up of a conductor. Now what happens if you place a magnet, a bar magnet in front of this loop? So this bar magnet is stationary with respect to this loop. So in this case, nothing will happen. So when you will do this experiment in laboratory, you will see that there will be no current in this loop because the loop, or you can say the bar magnet, is stationary with respect to the loop. But what happens if you start moving the magnet with respect to the loop, or in the opposite case, you can move the circular loop instead of the bar magnet. So if the magnet starts moving with respect to the loop, what happens is that induced current is produced in this loop. And we know that current is produced only when there is a potential difference. There is an EMF generated in the loop. Only then current can flow. Means due to the change in motion of the change in position of the bar magnet, induced EMF is generated in the loop, which results in production of induced current. So current will be produced in this loop. So this phenomena of production of induced current or generation of induced EMF was first observed by Faraday, and he gave two statements which are termed as Faraday's laws of electromagnetic induction. Now let's see what is magnetic flux. So if you have a certain circular loop and you have placed a bar magnet like this, so magnetic field lines will cross this circular loop. So there is some area enclosed by this closed path. So magnetic field lines, some number of magnetic field lines will be crossing this surface enclosed by circular path. So what will be the magnetic flux linked with this loop? So magnetic flux is represented by phi. In some books it is represented more precisely by phi b. So that represents magnetic flux. So magnetic flux is given by, now in this surface, if you take a point and around this point if you draw a small area element, and let's say the area element is represented by dA vector. So area of this small element is represented by dA, and since it is a vector, area is considered to be a vector quantity, so it is represented by dA vector. Now at this point there will be certain amount of magnetic field because bar magnet is placed over here and magnetic field lines, they are crossing this surface. So at this point there will be a certain magnitude of magnetic field, or certain magnetic field will be there. Now let's say the magnetic field is in this direction at this point. So what will be the magnetic flux linked with this small area element? So we have seen in the case of electric field, the electric flux is given by E vector dot dA vector. So similarly, magnetic flux in this case will be given by B vector dot dA vector. So this is the magnetic flux linked with this small area element. So this flux will be represented by d phi. So what will be the total magnetic flux linked with this whole circular coil? So that will be given by phi which will be equal to the surface integration of the right hand side. So if you want to find the total magnetic flux linked with this circular coil, that will be equal to integration of d phi, which will be in turn equal to surface integration of B vector dot product with dA vector. Now in this first case, the magnetic field lines, the number of magnetic field lines which are crossing this surface remains constant throughout. So this bar magnet is stationary with respect to the coil, so number of magnetic field lines crossing this surface will remain constant, means the magnetic flux will remain constant. So in this first case, phi will be constant. However, in the second case, in this case, the magnet is moving with respect to the circular coil, means the number of magnetic field lines linked with this surface will keep on changing. They will be dependent upon time, which in turn means that magnetic flux linked with this surface will be dependent upon time. So here phi will not be constant and it will be a function of time. So phi will be a function of time. The magnetic flux linked with this circular loop will be a function of time. Now due to this change in magnetic flux, there will be current produced in this loop. And how can we find out the induced current or the induced EMF? So that is given by Faraday's laws of electromagnetic induction. So the first point is that whenever the magnetic flux linked with a circular loop or with a closed circuit changes, it induces EMF in that circuit. So if you have a closed circuit like this and magnetic flux linked with this surface changes, in that case induced EMF is set up in that circuit and induced current will flow through it. Due to this induced EMF, induced current will flow through it. So if it is a closed path, if it is a closed circuit, then there will be a flow of current. But if this path is open, if it is not closed, in that case there will be only induced EMF and there will be no current. So current will flow only if the circuit is closed or the circuit is complete. So first point states that whenever the magnetic flux linked with a circuit, so in this case we have a circular loop. So magnetic flux linked with the circuit changes, induced EMF, a potential difference, induced EMF is set up in the circuit, and if the circuit is closed, in that case you will see induced current flowing in the circuit. And as long as you have this change in magnetic flux, as long as you have this change in magnetic flux, there will be induced EMF and hence there will be induced current in the circuit. But if the magnetic flux stops changing, means if it becomes constant, then there will be no induced EMF and current will become equal to 0. So that will be same as this situation. So if the magnetic flux linked with the circuit becomes constant, in that case induced EMF will be equal to 0 and there will be no current inside the circuit. And the second point is that the magnitude of induced EMF, as we have said, that induced EMF is set up in the circuit when there is a change in magnetic flux linked with the circuit. Now what is the magnitude of this induced EMF set up in the circuit? So magnitude of induced EMF is proportional to the rate of change of magnetic flux linked with the circuit. So this is proportional to rate of change of magnetic flux linked with the circuit. So what is rate of change of magnetic flux? That is just d phi by dt. So the induced EMF, magnitude of induced EMF will be directly proportional to d phi by dt. More is the change in magnetic flux, more will be the magnitude of induced EMF. Like in this case, the magnetic flux was constant. There was no change in the magnetic flux linked with the circuit. So induced EMF will be equal to 0, because in that case d phi by dt will be equal to 0. So phi will be constant in the first case. So if phi is constant, so its derivative with respect to time will be equal to 0, and hence magnitude of induced EMF will be equal to 0 in this first case, which means there will be no induced current in that circuit. So these are the 2 points that come under Faraday's law of electromagnetic induction. So we have said that induced EMF is set up in the circuit if there is a change in magnetic flux linked with that circuit. Now what is the direction of this induced EMF, or you can say what is the direction of the induced current that flows in the circuit? So the direction of induced current is such that to oppose the cause which is producing it. So the induced current is directed in such a manner that it opposes the cause responsible for the changing magnetic flux. So if there is a changing magnetic flux, there is an induced current or induced EMF set up in this circuit. So direction of this induced current or induced EMF is such that to oppose the cause of its production. So if the magnetic field lines are increasing linked with this circuit, so if you are moving this bar magnet towards this circular loop, means the magnetic field lines are increasing with time. So induced current will flow in this circuit in such a way to decrease the cause of its production, means to decrease the magnetic field lines linked with it. So if magnetic field lines are increasing, or you can say if the magnetic field lines linked with the circuit are increasing with time, the induced EMF will be flowing in this circuit in order to generate magnetic field in the opposite direction, and in that case it will oppose the cause of its production. So in this case the magnetic field lines will increase with time. So what will be the direction of the induced current? So what should be the direction? So the direction of induced current should be in a way that it produces magnetic field in the opposite direction, means in the downward direction. And magnetic field can be produced in the downward direction if the current flows in clockwise direction. So if the current flows in clockwise direction, in that case magnetic field will be produced, an additional magnetic field will be produced in the downward direction, and hence this current will oppose the cause of its production. So the direction of this induced EMF or induced current is given by Lenz's law. So Lenz's law states that the direction of induced EMF in the circuit or induced current is such as to oppose the cause responsible for changing the magnetic flux, or you can say it is in such a way to oppose the cause of its production. So the induced EMF, which is represented by E, so induced EMF will be written as d phi by dt as it is, because according to Faraday's law induced EMF is proportional to d phi by dt. Now Lenz's law states that this induced EMF is directed in such a direction that it opposes the change in magnetic flux. So this induced EMF will be equal to negative of d phi by dt. So in this case, if the magnetic field is increasing, so as you are moving the bar magnet towards this circular loop, the magnetic field lines linked with this circuit are increasing with time. So induced current will flow in this circuit in such a way that it produces magnetic field and additional magnetic field in the downward direction, and hence it will oppose the cause of its production. And in the opposite case, if the bar magnet is moved away from this circular loop, so magnetic field lines linked with the circuit will decrease in that case. So if the magnetic field lines are decreasing linked with the circuit, then induced current will flow in such a way to generate additional magnetic field in the upward direction. So if magnetic field lines are increasing with time, in that case the induced current will flow in such a way to decrease the effect of this magnetic field, and hence it will generate magnetic field in the downward direction. So in the second case, if the bar magnet is moved away from the circular loop, means magnetic field lines linked with the circuit are decreasing. So this induced current will flow in such a direction that it increases the magnetic field in the upward direction, and that can happen if the current is flowing in the anti-clockwise direction. So in this first case, the current will flow in clockwise direction. In the second case, when the bar magnet is moved away from the circular coil, in that case the current will flow in anti-clockwise direction. So in both the cases, the induced current or induced EMF is opposing the cause of its production. So E is equal to minus d phi by dt, and that is Lenz's law.